Yesterday, America celebrated its 240th anniversary of freedom.
Yippee!
Freedom for most people that look like me, being white males. All other groups, maybe, possibly.
Maybe.
Maybe, yes. The particular group I'm thinking about is one that's been somewhat obscured, somewhat forgotten by the media. And that is the 3,000, maybe 3,000 plus kids who were separated from their parents. The media has seemingly moved on. They've forgotten about it. There's other things in the headlines.
Scott Pruitt.
Scott Pruitt, yeah. Just like school shootings. Just like school shootings. They cover it for a couple of days,
yeah, and
then they move on, and that's it. But we cannot forget about these 3,000 kids. Now, there is a deadline looming. Next Tuesday, they have to, there's under court order, the Trump administration is under court order to reunite the children under 5 years old with their parents.
Immediately.
Let's say, well, by next Tuesday, and then 2 weeks after that, they have to reunite all the kids. Let's see if that happens in this great country. Yes, I'm still a patriot, but I can't say I'm exactly proud of this nation. I'm not going to put the flag on the floor, but I might fly it upside down before the end of the night. You are watching dvtv Live. I'm going to step out of the shot just to put my flag down. I was a Boy Scout. I know not to let it touch the floor, though. I know not to let it touch the floor. My name is Rich.
I'm Jeannie.
There's Jeannie. Good evening. Thank you so much for watching. The 3,000 kids, the media is saying, kids? What kids? This is tantamount to, I mean, this is probably the worst thing I can think of that America has done to a group of people.
No, and it's terrible because all these adults that came here, I didn't know that was normal. Is that normal for them to be on like $2,000 bond each?
I don't know about that. I don't know. Apparently, there's been you know, asylum seekers for a very long time. We turned away a boatload, or rather, FDR turned away a boatload of Jewish people in the early 40s. Wouldn't let them dock in Florida, and they were returned to Germany, and some of them ended up in concentration camps and dead. So we don't have a great record, but we have this thing called the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
With the poem, I believe it's Emma Lazarus, give me your tired, you poor, your huddled masses. That is the promise of America. We're not keeping our promise. And as I said, with kids, young children, separating from their parents, that is among the most evil things.
I mean, with all the money that they spent, having to spend, you know, finding their parents,
right. Translators,
finding their kids and
shipping
then returning
them to New York,
and then bringing them back to their parents.
Right.
This is like such a massive waste of money and a massive waste of resources.
Right. Yeah.
Not even Bush would have done something like this.
Nobody except for Trump. Nobody except for Trump. As much as he tries to blame the Democrats on this policy, it was strictly enforced. It was strictly under Trump. It didn't begin up until, I believe, until May. The first tweet I sent out about it was the middle of May. So this has been going on for a number of weeks. It didn't happen before.
But it's bizarre that there was like a ICE. This was like supposed to be some stupid experiment. That's what they've been saying, and I'm like, what kind of experiment is it?
Yeah, the Nazis experimented with people too. Okay.
But I mean, like an experiment as to see how well this would work for the country and discourage families from being here.
It's an experiment to see if he can't build a wall, so maybe he can either keep the asylum seekers away or pressure the Democrats into building the wall, which of course would be ineffective. And the people all along the southern border know damn well they don't want a wall. They know a wall isn't going to work, and they know damn well that people who want to get into this country are going to choose another route.
And go find a way.
It's the most evil thing you can do, because separating young kids from their parents, it's going to be very traumatic for the kids. It's going to have lifelong consequences.
These people can sue.
Well, they can sue if they have access to money. Yeah. Now, right now, a lot of the parents and most of these parents don't even speak English.
Yeah.
Okay, they're coming to this country because gangs tried to take their children in Guatemala or wherever in Central America. So they came here to save their children. There's one instance I heard of tonight where a father jumped in front of a kid to stop a bullet because gangs were going to kill his kid. The father got killed. The son got shot. He still ended up in this country. This, as I said, this is among the most evil things I can think of any American. This is even a lot worse than the internment camps in World War II.
You really think they're worse than the internment camps?
Well, the internment camps, they did not separate kids from their parents. They did not threaten to either deport the parents or the kids.
Okay.
There are more people involved now in this wave of immigration than were put into internment camps. And as I said, the parents are being given a terrible choice. These parents, again, they have no idea what the American legal system is. They have no idea what their rights are. They are being asked to sign something, well, I will sign this and be deported without my kids or with my kids, not knowing the consequences of signing anything. And even worse, and we do have a video to show now.
Oh, this is the worst video I've seen.
Yes, I mean, watch this if you can. Now, this is not actual footage. This is a reenactment, but it is based upon actual court transcripts, and the person playing the judge is an actual immigration judge, a retired immigration judge, and I don't think the video needs any more setup. Can we roll that video, please?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Immigration Judge William Soffer, sitting in the Immigration Court in Portland, Oregon. These are removal proceedings. Do you understand what these proceedings here in court are all about? Do you know what a lawyer is? No? Do you have a lawyer? No? The respondent is present in court, but without an attorney. Sophia, good morning. Are you a little nervous this morning? See? You know what a lawyer is?
No.
No? Do you have a lawyer?
Yeah, I know some of you are parents, and just imagine your kids being taken away and forced into that situation. That is happening, and most of the kids are not represented by any kind of lawyer. The lucky ones, like 1 in 10, get represented by an ACLU lawyer or somebody.
God.
And of course, the government always has a lawyer. The government has a lawyer in court. So this is what is happening in America in 2018 under President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Abolish ICE, impeach Trump. Let me go put this down again.
Okay, how on earth are you going to be a sane judge and build a case against a 3-year-old?
A 3-year-old,
I
yes.
mean, what a waste of resources.
I mean, talk about monkey trials, or a trial where a monkey trial refers to, there was a case in England in the 18th century. The English seized a French boat. There was hostilities between the English and French. The only person they found the only being they found on the boat, it was apparently abandoned, was a monkey. and they put the monkey on trial because some of the people in England thought that this is what French people looked like. So that's the source of that. It's comparable. It's comparable, and it is tragic, and it is a shame and a disgrace to the American flag, to the Statue of Liberty. And we would not be hearing about these kids. It didn't really touch the news yesterday, except for a 44-year-old Staten Islander who scaled the Statue of Liberty. Patrice, what is her name?
Why did she scale
Patricia Okumu, to protest. She was part of Rise and Resist. They unfurled a banner in 2 different places on the Statue of Liberty. And then she broke off with the group Rise and Resist. Did I say the thing was Rise and Resist? They didn't exactly disavow this action, but they said they were not aware that she was going to do this action. But this got more attention than unfurling a banner and a bunch of protesters getting arrested. This was carried on every news network, and it was a drama that went on for a couple of hours. And I'm always grateful for the people who are willing to do civil disobedience to bring attention to such a disgrace. Okay, but this is a disgrace, and this is going to be, our grandchildren are going to be learning about this in history books. In my case, my great-grandchildren. But anyway, so I mean, this is absolutely. We had Kristen Nielsen. She's the Secretary of Homeland Security. She actually visited one of these detention centers last week.
Did she wear proper clothing?
No, I don't think she had.
She didn't wear that Zara jacket, right?
No, she didn't wear that jacket. Neither did Melania on her second visit.
Second try.
She
got a stylist?
I don't know what was in her mind or what she was thinking. The only thing I can think of is that perhaps she thought that the whole world revolved around her, and this was a reference to her troubles with Donald, okay?
No, it was in reference to all the fake news media.
Oh, okay, yes.
You didn't hear Trump's...
She was trying to make a point about something else. Not that I'm excusing this, that was a horrible thing to do, and a very telling thing to do from anyone connected with Trump. But Secretary Nielsen visited one of these detention centers last week. Did she, and as well she should, she's in charge of Homeland Security Secretary, but did she visit the detainees? No. They actually moved 90 of these detainees into a field in the hot sun, 90-plus degree weather, so she could visit the facility.
That's like some North Korea propaganda
That is
shit.
exactly, but yeah, this is exactly the point. It's like North Korea, it's like a dictatorship, and
I mean, that's really it's like a one big Truman show. That's what it looks like.
It really is. And Trump, I wish this wasn't real. I wish that this was a movie. But if it was a movie, nobody would believe it. Last week, Trump actually referred to the immigrants as an infestation.
An infestation?
Infestation, as in vermin or cockroaches. He referred to human beings, asylum seekers, the tired, the poor, the huddled masses that the Statue of Liberty is supposed to embrace and our country is supposed to represent. He referred to them, human beings, as an infestation. To me, that is one step away from extermination. That's the same thing that Hitler said about Jews.
You can't do that, though.
And undesirables. Not yet. But again,
that's never going to happen.
If somebody had told you that last year that Trump was going to separate young kids breastfeeding babies from their mothers and throw them in separate prisons, you wouldn't have believed that either.
True.
You said that wasn't going to happen. So it's incremental. This stuff is evil, and it's incremental. Let us get used to this, let it fade from the news, then the next step happens. As I said, one step from extermination, that's what Hitler did. He referred to the undesirables in Germany, the Jews, the intellectuals, the homosexuals, as an infestation. The next step is concentration camps. Hey, we have concentration camps already.
What?
There was these kids and their parents are being thrown into cages if they're not concentration camps, what's the other name for them? They're setting up tents in the desert and things like that to put these people in.
Where did he get this tip from? Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who
Probably.
he pardoned?
Probably, yeah. Probably. I mean, so referring to them as infestation, as human beings, this is pure evil, and we hope it will not stand.
I mean, I'm just
Public
wondering-
pressure had him rescind the order to separate
he
the
had
families.
to.
But
In this big dog and pony show. And
It was
you know
big
what
dog and
happened
pony
though?
show, yeah.
Before that Thursday, they actually increased a lot of the fees for the adults to post bond so they can get out of there.
Postpone, yes.
Yeah, they
People
started
will come up-
increased it for these people that didn't really do anything except cross the border illegally.
I'll bet a lot of you people out there could not raise, if you were in legal trouble, could not
They're
raise
already poor.
$2,000 on short notice. Middle class people I'm referring to.
I mean, these
people
people-
have nothing. They've left
Yeah.
everything behind. Bank accounts, whatever possessions they have, they've left behind in their country because they wanted to live and they wanted to let their children live. And America has this promise to take care of people in trouble like that.
A lot of those places in
$2,000. It's
a
insane.
lot of places in Central America, a lot of people, not in the capital city, but they live on dirt floors.
They live in dirt
They
floors.
live
Yeah,
in
that's
dirt floors.
it's
They have
definitely
it's very, very hot. There's no such thing as air conditioning.
Right.
They literally cook inside the house on a hot fire.
And you
it's
know
like,
what?
That's what they do. I
Yeah,
mean,
and that's what they do. And you know that we think of that as extreme poverty and horrible conditions to live in. If it wasn't for oppressive governments
if it
and
were
gangs
the gangs,
and corruption,
they would still be living fine.
they'd still be living. I mean,
There's a lot of-
I visited
yeah.
a number of years ago. I visited Burmese refugees in Thailand. They all had nothing. They lived in huts with dirt floors, and they were happy. That's the shocking thing. They had nothing. They had, you know, the kids were wearing T-shirts with logos on them that obviously had been thrown away from another
Yeah.
country, but you know, they were going to school without notebooks and everything. But these people were happy. So the conditions of poverty isn't the big problem. It is a problem because separation.
it's
but the
all-
big
yeah.
problem, and the reason they come north to the border, is they're escaping some kind of horrible,
Or-
oppressive death threat from the powers that be and the people who are in charge
I mean,
in those
doesn't he
countries.
have a foreign policy team? A foreign affairs
Not
team in the
anymore. The
Oh yeah,
state-
there is no cabinet. Really.
Yeah, there is no
everyone's
cabinet. There's
escaping.
a State Department,
even
and the
like-
State Department has been vacant for a very long
He's
time.
getting a new chief of staff too. Eventually.
He eventually,
Yeah.
he fired Scott Pruitt today. Everybody was asking how many ethics.
A lot.
A lot. How many ethics investigations does it take to get rid of this very, very visibly, demonstrably corrupt official in the cabinet? Well, the answer is 15. He's under 15 separate
ethics.
federal ethics investigations. Okay, and I hope he lands his ass in jail just for the brazenness of what he's doing. You know, I mean, he flew first class from New York to D.C. at a cost of $1,600. Now, $1,600 is nothing. They sneeze and they, you know, in Washington, and they spend $1,600. But for a flight from New York to Washington, couldn't he get on Amtrak? You know, you're going first class
it's
on
like
Amtrak.
$300.
$300.
That's it.
It's
Then you
not
could
even
take the-
$300 on off hours. It's like $70.
You could take
you know?
a Seal Express.
Yeah, that's like $70 or $100 during off hours. So this is the kind he spent $1,500 on custom fountain pens. And the weirdest thing was that he had his staff, somebody in his staff, procure a used mattress from a Trump hotel. We don't know what that's about. Maybe there was some DNA. Maybe it was tied to him. Maybe he had an affair in a Trump hotel.
Jeez.
Who knows? Anyway, he's gone. His deputy is in charge. His deputy is no different, and the EPA is going to be basically, the EPA is going to continue to be dismantled, as are the environmental protections in the United States, which weren't adequate in the first place, but more and more. The guy who's replacing him is a longtime lobbyist for the coal industry. But he actually started out in the EPA, so this guy is very experienced. I don't know if he's going to be.
The reason I was saying the coal industry, because it's
Yeah.
like, what are you going to say with the coal industry? Like I said, you've said it a million times on the show.
Yeah.
There's machines that could do that stuff better than humans.
Yeah.
Like what do humans?
The coal
it's
industry is not employing that many
is that,
people anymore.
was there that many people in his base that are too dumb to get a new job and go to college?
There's that many people in his base who believe that. One of the things he said in the past few days that, well, coal is safer than oil because they can't bomb coal lines. They can bomb oil lines, but they can't bomb coal lines. Well, either he knows this is an absurd statement or he knows nothing about history, because what did they do all during World War I and World War II? They bombed railroad lines, which took coal into factories and defense things. You know, happened all over, and the United States did it too to Germany. It wasn't just the opposite side doing it to us and England. So, yeah, I have no words. Only obscene gestures and homicidal thoughts.
Can I ask you a question though?
Sure, maybe I can answer.
I don't know much about the 80s because I wasn't really alive.
Okay.
But I mean, wasn't Reagan like one of the first presidents that had amnesty in the 80s, which was such a great thing?
Yes, yes. I mean, Reagan would almost be considered a liberal now. You know, Reagan and Nixon as well would almost be. You look at Reagan's policies. You look at some of. I should have.
Yeah, because he had
and pasted
86, right?
Yeah.
That's when he had some sort of like blanket amnesty.
Blanket amnesty, I believe, for the draft dodgers.
Oh, okay. I thought it was for a lot of people that just kind of came here illegally as well.
I believe so. My memory isn't that good, and it never has been as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. There's a stark difference between Republican Trump, but he's not a Republican, he's a Trump. And he's ruining, and a lot of Republicans know this, he's ruining the Republican.
The whole party.
He's ruining the whole party. I said it before, standing right here before the election, he will leave the Republican Party in glowing ruins.
And then Fox is too busy like picking apart like progressive candidates,
right?
Which is ridiculous.
Like, you know, well, they've attacked Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the attacks on her.
So
she is the young 28-year-old from the Bronx who defeated the 10-term congressman.
He got lazy.
He got lazy.
He got lazy.
And complacent, and that's a lesson. And this is scaring the shit out of the Republicans, because they said, ooh, she did it to a Democrat, a very high-ranking Democrat in Congress. What's going to happen in the actual midterms? The Post tried to run a hit piece on her by interviewing people that she worked
at a waitress. She was a waitress.
She was a waitress, yeah.
Something
I don't know
about
where.
like $50 or $100 or something in tips.
One employee said
something like that.
That she got cheated out of tips
like
due
$50
to
or
Miss
something ridiculous.
Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah, the Post article also had to mention that all the other people who worked at that bar had good things to say about her. This was the only person, but they dug up this one person who had a beef against her. They've been trying to say, oh, she grew up as a rich kid in
I think she grew up middle class.
She grew up
in
middle class
Westchester,
and poor,
which is not that big of a deal.
And it's just north of the Bronx border. Yeah,
I don't think
and she did not go to an Ivy League university.
She went to a public school.
She went to a public school.
Because it's
so
like if you don't,
hit jobs. It's the same thing they're trying to say, that Democrats are now for an open border. No, they're for a fair and humane asylum policy, and a fair and humane policy towards immigrants, not open borders. But of course, I think it was Eric Swalwell who's his constituents should know better, because he's on television every damn day on CNN and MSNBC. But one constituent walked up to him and said, "Why are you for open borders?" And he'd never even uttered the words, and he said nothing even approaching that. But this is, it's misinformation that's being put out there. It's dangerous, but, mass media can be dangerous. And again, I'm very upset that the mass media is kind of ignoring this. And I'm very proud of that lady from Staten Island who who is now under federal charges for climbing the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, it's like you're under federal charges for that?
Yes. Oh, of course. You violate a crime, you're in on federal property. Yeah. Federal trespassing, disorderly conduct. You know, you piss off the park police.
She's going to jail for like 2 years.
I don't know. I'm sure she
Hope
has
not.
defense. Rise and Resist said they're going to do what they can for her. But it's very important to counter the misinformation and to show protest. Now, speaking of protest, Trump. This will bring a smile to your face. We do have some sort of happy news. Trump is going to visit London next week.
Is it like the Macy's parade?
It's going to be like the Macy's parade.
Really?
Because take a look. That is what is going to greet Trump. That's the first
mayor
one.
of London.
Show the second one. It's the GoFundMe page. And the third one is what it's going to look like floating over the Houses of Parliament.
No, but you know what's really funny? The mayor of London approved this.
Yes, he did. No love lost between the mayor of London. Well, wasn't it Trump who said, well, there are Muslim section of London that the police don't dare go into because they're so dangerous because there's Muslims out there, there's evil Muslims, terrorists, and of course that's not. He said the same thing about Paris, and of course it's not true. But because London has a Muslim mayor, yeah. So
he's Muslim. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know he's. I think he's probably of Indian descent.
I think
most likely.
maybe
or
I don't
Pakistani
know.
descent.
But he was elected
his
mayor.
name is Sadiq Khan.
Sadiq Khan. That's
Yeah.
I knew his first name. Yeah.
That's so definitely South. What they categorize as Asian.
Right.
He's definitely Asian.
Trump is very, very unpopular in Britain.
More unpopular than the people that want to secede from Europe.
Well, that shows you elections count. They're still struggling with the Brexit.
Mayor.
Yeah.
Former British mayor is like, Brexit is cool, and he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, and there may have been some manipulation. That's what Putin wants. There may have been some manipulation, or at least some bad information in that election. But of course, that election, a lot of people didn't vote, and a lot of young people woke up the next day and said, "Huh? What? We're not in the European Union anymore? Oh shit! I should have voted." Well, that's the importance of vote. So register if you're not registered to vote.
I feel terrible because I'm not registered in a party, but I am registered to vote.
No, I didn't.
Does that make us bad people?
No, you just couldn't. You just couldn't vote in the primary.
Oh, okay.
Just like the primary, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez got 14,000 votes, and her opponent got 10,000 votes, or something like that. That's a tiny turnout.
Yeah.
That's a tiny. Every election counts. So let's hope this that this Democratic wave continues and good, progressive, strong Democrats come to power in the fall. If you're not registered to vote, please do so. Anyway, good night.
Good news.
Good
Bye.
news. Ciao.